Hi guys. So I know it's been a hot minute since I've made a video, but I was just busy finishing up school and graduating and enjoying the beginning of my summer. And now that I've been in summer a little bit, I found myself with nothing to do this morning. So I figured I might as well do an update vlog. Uh, um, ooh, so um, Yeah, so I graduated from school, so since I'm all done, I'm just gonna like change this. My bed's like kind of lopsided, so and my computer's on my bed, so I feel like it's crooked. But anyway, so I said I would give like all my stats or whatever once I graduated, 'cause now it doesn't really matter. But so yeah, I graduated from University of Maryland. I had I didn't look up my exact GPA, but I had somewhere around I probably finished all my semesters with somewhere between a 3.5 and a 3.6 overall GPA, with my science GPA being around the same. Um, when I applied to med school, I had over a 3.6 GPA. It was like a 3.63, and my science GPA was a 3.5. I got a 29 on the MCAT. I got an 11 on verbal, 10 on bio, and an 8 in the physical science. And if you watched all my previous vlogs, you know physical science was terrible for me. Like I just couldn't get do well on that section. No matter how many practice tests I took, no matter what I studied, I just couldn't do well. It was exactly what I was expecting out of the MCAT, and it's just, I don't know, it was just how it went. Um, I applied to 15 medical schools. I got into zero, except I'm on the wait list at one still, and I'm still waiting to hear back. Um, so I'll keep you updated on that. I, um, for I guess for my extracurriculars, since it's all about applying, I did Relay for Life all 4 years. I was at Maryland. Um, I was on the executive committee for 2 years of that. I volunteered for a semester at a medical clinic, and I did like hands-on stuff. Like I wrote HPIs, I did vital signs, I did EKGs, all that kind of stuff. I have worked for 2 years as an ER scribe nearby. I'm still working as an ER scribe. Um, I was in a living and learning program called Civicus, and that was for 2 years, and that involved a ton of community service. And we took classes. It was about like being a leader in a multicultural society, stuff like that. Um, I was in American Medical Student Association for 3 years. I didn't do it senior year. And I was on the executive board of that for pretty much the whole time I was in it. I did the pre-medical society for 1 year, but I didn't really like it, so I stopped going because they did like the same thing every meeting. It wasn't really that different. So that's why I liked American Medical Student Association better. Um, yeah, stuff like that. I had another job. I worked in the library for a little while. Um, I volunteered at a hospital when I was at home, like my freshman year. Um, So yeah, I did like a ton of stuff. I never did research. Research really isn't my thing. I don't like being in a lab. I don't want to go to medical school to be a researcher. I don't understand why. I mean, like I understand why they like kind of like research, but the fact that so many places require it, or not require it, but look for it now, is kind of weird to me because you have to take lab sciences, so you kind of get a lab experience, but like unless you want to do research, I don't really know why it's such a big deal now, because I'm not going to medical school to sit in the lab. I want to work with people. I want to, do something different every day. I don't want to sit around and, you know, do research. Otherwise, I would go into research. I wouldn't go to medical school. So I never did research. I stood strong on that. I'm not against research, obviously. It's just not for me. It's not something I wanted to do. So I didn't do it. And maybe that hurt me. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. Um, what I would say probably hurt me the most was my MCAT score. Again, it wasn't bad, but that physical science just killed me. like I said, I didn't take a class for the MCAT. I just studied on my own. Um, I don't regret anything I did. I wouldn't change anything, because I I went into college knowing that I wanted to work hard and I wanted to do the best I could to get into medical school, but I didn't want to give up any of the experience that college had. Like, I didn't want to focus on just one thing. I wanted to experience as much as I could and make friends and have some fun. And if doing all of that didn't allow me to get into medical school, then that's just how it is. Um, now, so it's like if you want to get if you can do it all and get in, that's great. And if you have to give things up to do to get in, then and you're willing to do it, that's great. But I wasn't willing to do it. I think there's too much to experience in life to give everything up in such at such a young age for um, a job. Like, as much as I love medicine, it in the end it's just a job. And um, not getting into medical school because I didn't study for a few extra hours for a standardized exam is just kind of how it is for me. It's not, I don't know, it's not the end of the world. I used to think it'd be the end of the world if I didn't get into medical school. And now um, I'm like content with my backup plan. And that's just kind of where I'm at. My backup plan is if I don't get into this medical school I'm on the wait list for, I'm going to apply. I'm going to take a year off and I'm going to do what I need to do to apply to physician's assistant school. And I always used to say that if I didn't get into medical school, I would apply, I would do what I needed to apply again. But my senior year changed me a lot in that perspective. Working in the ER, I noticed that PA's jobs really aren't that different from doctors. There are obviously differences, especially because PAs have to work under a doctor. They don't get to do quite as much. They don't get to do quite as much, but essentially their job is the same. In the end, I just will be happy if I'm practicing medicine. Um, I really, I don't want to be a nurse for several reasons I won't get into, but because the PA is essentially the same as a doctor in the sense that they take care of patients, um, and you know are like active in their treatment, then that's kind of really all I was looking for out of my career. And honestly, going into college, I chose being a doctor because it was just something I always reach for the stars, So it's like, if that's the best you can do, then I'm gonna go for that. But um, I think being a PA is just as good. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, especially now that I've seen what they do. I also wasn't that informed about what PAs do, how much they're allowed to do, things like that. So now that I've seen more of it and am more knowledgeable about it, I am happy with it and am comfortable with it. Um, I also don't want to reapply to medical school because of the cost. It costs me, well, it cost my parents over $2,000 for me to apply to medical school. And and they would pay for it again in a heartbeat, but I'm not going to ask them to do that. And I don't want to pay for it when applying to PA school will be much cheaper. Going to PA school will be much cheaper. Um, it won't take quite as long to get through PA school. Um, and um, I think in order for me to apply to medical school again, I would have to take grad classes and I would have to retake the MCATs and possibly would have to do research, and all of which I'm not willing to do. I don't want to take any grad courses. I looked into it. It's not for me. I don't want to take random courses that aren't related to anything. I really just want to kind of start diving into medicine. And I have seriously looked into grad courses in the area because my dad offered to pay for them, but I I can't find anything I'm interested in. I don't want to do it, and it would just be painful. Um, I don't want to retake the MCAT. I know what was wrong with the MCAT for me, and I don't want to go back to that. And I really, like I said, I really don't want to do research. So for me to apply to PA school, I would have to get more patient contact hours. So if I need to go that route, I will take an ENT course or get a job that involves patient contact. I know a few in the area. Um, and I would just take the GRE, and hopefully that would be good enough. Okay, phone, shut up. Oh, okay. So yeah, so yeah, and basically like when I was talking about like it would take less time to become a PA, it's just like I don't. I mean, obviously, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's any sort of residency to it. I think you kind of get your experience all in the 4 years of school. Um, I haven't looked into it that deeply. And if that's not true, it's still fine. It's still the route I want to go. But that's kind of what I learned from um, my senior year is that like if there's anything I learned from my senior year, it's that I personally want to experience everything there is in life, and if I or much as I can get my hands on, and if I have to sacrifice having friends and a family for a job, that's not worth it to me. I think friends and family are the most important things in life, and you can't get through life without them. And to have to give that up for um, a job that will, just like I would be happy being a doctor, but if I didn't have friends and family to, come home to at night or, um, you know, like spend all that money on, then it's just not worth it to me. Um, so that's kind of that. This is a really long video already, so congratulations if you watched it all. I'll keep everyone updated on what's going on. Oh, and it's not to say I don't want to be a doctor anymore. The point is if I get into medical school now, I'm perfectly willing to give up those 8 years, but to want to give up another 2 years in addition to that is just, that's where I have to draw the line, because the line has to be drawn somewhere. Um, and that's kind of where this is where I'm drawing the line, and so that's just kind of how it is. So it's possible that this channel will kind of turn into a Road to PA School channel, but that's okay. And I will keep all of you updated on what I'm doing and when I hear and whatever. Um, if you like hearing my random vlogs about not medicine stuff, feel free to let me know and I will keep doing them, but I don't want to bore anyone with like just talking about my day-to-day life. I have been, I still like work out and stuff. So if you want me to start doing vlogs on that, I can do that because, well, there's my Tumblr. I like write everything on my Tumblr. But I can start doing vlogs if you don't really use Tumblr. Um, and that's really it. Okay? So if you graduated anything this year, congratulations. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. Even though I didn't get into medical school, I went through the process and I feel like I'm pretty well seasoned on it. Like I have my reasons for not wanting to go through it again. And you can feel free to ask for more information on that. I just don't want to bore you here because this is already like 14 minutes. But yeah, hopefully I'll talk to you all soon and see you later. Bye!